Happy holidays, boop boop. Hudson and Scotty B need a therapist. I know I'm the worst singer. Both of these guys are shaking their heads looking at me. Hi guys. Happy
Hey,
holidays.
you are a song stylist, Hudson.
Do you know, back in the day I was actually told by our boss never to sing on the radio. Am I right?
That is true.
It is. It's just because I'm not a good singer. But all right, moving along. Happy holidays. We had gotten into some deep stuff, and I thought today would be a great day to stop promising, start positioning your 2026 mindset. And I think if anyone can help us put together a mindset plan, it's Alan
And I
Bell.
appreciate the feedback and the compliments, Hudson. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm not the most naturally organized person or a business person. I definitely started on the creative side of things, but I think it was parenthood that really taught me with all the moving parts that everything has to be organized or it's just whack-a-mole. And you could apply that to your job, you could apply that to your social life. But if you're just playing whack-a-mole and reacting to things, you're probably disappointed a lot of the time if you're listening to this.
I think this is the framework. That's what we're setting up for 2026 for you. That's what it's about because promises fail. Positioning is what's going to work the way it sounds from Alan.
So, what is the difference between motivation and positioning, Alan?
I think a lot of people in moments are motivated because they don't like the moment they're living in. So they're motivated, maybe their pants don't fit and they're like, I got to lose weight. Or maybe, they get hit with a bill and they realize their savings account doesn't have enough money. I need to make more money. It's reactive. And so you can be motivated in a moment, but will you still be motivated 2 hours later? Will you still be motivated the next day? And I think positioning, maybe is how I'm understanding it is, are you thinking more macro than micro and looking at the playing field of, like I said earlier, the next few months and the next few years, and then understanding realistically how your motivation is going to play out. And so, for example, myself, and I'm going to say this on this podcast, and I would encourage anybody listening to do this, working on a book. It's going to come out next year. Just told everybody. So there we go. Guess I have to do it next year. I just created
Gotta do it.
accountability with everybody who's listening to this. They're like, oh, if Alan doesn't do a book next year, then I guess Alan was a liar. And by doing that, because I don't work for someone else that's saying this is the deadline. If you don't get it done, you're in trouble. This is a side project. But I just gave myself accountability by telling you guys or telling anybody listening to this. And so I think if we can be better about telling people what we're going to do and when, then the chances of us actually living up to it are higher.
Okay, so again, because what will happen then in motivation is you'll be tired and you're not nearly as motivated. You'll be hungry
Mhm.
and you're not as motivated.
Yep.
You'll have a kid's thing to deal with. You're not as motivated to do your thing. There's all kinds of things that can derail motivation.
Correct.
But instead, if you put a framework in place, you can get right back on track.
Correct. I think, and yeah, and Hudson knows that too. It's about like I'm not stupid. I can't just be like I'm going to write a book and wait till the end of next December or something and start writing it. It means that she knows I'll take a Saturday and for 6 hours straight I only do that, and it doesn't finish the book, but it just takes a chunk out of it. It's discipline. And I think those are the kind of things that whatever it is you're going to choose to do in 2026, like I said, in a moment, we can all feel motivated. Like Scotty said, you can be hungry later. The kids have something. I'm kind of sick today. Like whatever it is, we all make excuses. So motivation in a moment is great. But I do think that you have to lay the groundwork. You've got to make accountability with other people or yourself or put money behind it because that always moves people too. But motivation is something that, is great. I think a lot of people have motivation, but you really got to think it through and make sure you do it.
That's why I think this framework and setting that is going to help us this year. But you ever notice though? I mean, most people get all hype in January. I got this. I'm going to do it. And then once February comes around, it's like they're defeated and then they get stuck. So I think that if we can go into this with the right mindset and with framework in place, I think we
Well,
can do a lot this year.
but I think we also have to look as a cultural thing because it's not we're not going to solve it in this podcast, but we
No.
have a problem here with an instant gratification culture. And if you want to work out and look good for the summer and you go to the gym for a few weeks and you don't see a difference when you stand on the scale, you'll stop going to the gym. Not everybody, but some. And they'll be disappointed that summer. And so I guess it really comes down to, can you understand that you're not going to see the results right away of whatever you're trying to do? And I think the instant gratification culture that we have right now of wanting something, like even we want something, can't even watch a 30-minute TV show. We got to watch the TikTok 12-minute version of it. We want to, anything that is going to take us time, even 30 minutes is too much now. So keep that in mind. What kind of person are you? And how are you going to get around that if that's something that you think about or you act like?
Well, now this is where you mentioned proclaiming it so other people know what you're planning to do. But you want the right kind of people to be in on it, right? The ones that'll say, "Hey, how's it going with this thing?" And
They'll do the follow up. They'll hold you accountable. Like,
I'm,
how many pages are you on?
you know what? I'm so glad Scotty said that because it didn't occur to me to say that out loud, but it's true. It's who you tell because you want to tell other accountable people and motivated people that you respect. Because there's a lot of people, if we're honest, we can love them, but not really respect them, if that makes sense. But
Yeah.
you've got to go to the people that you respect. You respect how they live their life, whether it's in their personal life, their professional life, because those are the people when you start to make a proclamation of what you're going to do, they will come back to you. They're rooting for you. They're not doing it in any kind of bad way of like, are you still going to write that book? Haha. It's more like, what's going on now? Is anything that's going on there? Do you want me to take a look at it? They're going to keep you accountable. And because you respect them, the last thing you want to do is be embarrassed.
I have some of those people in my life, and I know I'm about to see them, and I know they're going to ask me about the thing.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, oh man, and it really moves me inside.
Yeah.
Whereas other people, I could just blow through them, no problem.
Right. But you know because they're holding you accountable. But
Right.
I think that that's some really good information. So think about those friends that you have that will hold you accountable and announce that thing so that
Because
you're gonna have to do the thing. It's like Expedia, right? If you or Hotwire, you book the trip, there's no going back. You know, it's that kind of thing.
But there's doers and wishers, and I think we all have friends that are going to say, "I'm going to do this too," and so you both feel good at 12:15 that day because you both have all this stuff you're going to do and whatnot. But those are not the people to be sounding this off of. I think that's what we're
Right.
saying is look at the people that you know that do what they say. If they say they're going to go on this vacation, they do. If they say they're going to do this with the business, they do. Those are the kind of people you want to surround yourself with because they're going to inspire you to be your best self. I know in college, if I look back, I don't know if you guys were like this. When my friends were A students, I got A's. When my friends were B students, I got B's. And I didn't feel like I needed to be better. It wasn't until they were A students and I felt like the dumb one if I got a B that I had to get A's too.
These are people that you can actually approach as well that maybe aren't in your direct sphere. And I'll give you an example. I wanted to be a better golfer. And so instead of playing with the golfers I could beat, I started playing with the pros. And I would say, hey, I want to go play with you. I would lose all the time, but I was getting better
Yep.
because I challenged
That's
myself
it.
and watched how they thought through their round and the shots that they didn't hit. Well, of course, I'm not going to try to go through those trees. That's dumb. Knock it over here. And that sort of stuff. Make the right decisions on the course. And I think the same thing in life. There are people maybe that they're not your closest friends, but you know them, you've met them, you've seen them. Say, hey, can I pick your brain? Can I ask how you
Yep.
have accomplished this? What do you do to own this business and make it successful? And I think getting out of our comfort zone and drawing those people out because they probably would love to share with you as well and mentor you.
That's it. They
You know,
do. They thrive off of that.
can I say something? I'm just like beaming here if anyone could see because this conversation is exactly when I do career stuff with people, like what I talk about. And I'm going to talk about this thing. It's very simple. It's called the Rule of 33. And there was a speaker that I saw, and if you're listening to this, you may know who he is because he's got a social media following. His name is Ty Lopez. I'm not going to endorse Ty Lopez that I know everything about him or a huge follower, but I do like this theory. And I've been a fan of this theory for almost 10 years. And the rule of 33 says this. If you were to look at your friendships, the people that you interact with socially in your life in any way, and you were to categorize them, are they at the same level as me? Are they performing below me? Or are they performing above me? And that doesn't mean that maybe professionally you're above them, but maybe as in their family life, they're like best dad, or they just know how to run their marriage in a way that's so healthy. And so it's personal or professional. It's not just do they, are they more successful than me? And if you were to look at your friend group, the majority of people, when you talk to them about this, their friends are the same as them or below them. And the friends, and it just keeps their ambition pretty low, if you ask me. But when you have friends that are 33% of them above you, you can do exactly what Scotty said. If you're not hustling people for jobs or positioning, but you're literally just asking them advice or bouncing ideas off of them, they love to teach. They love to help you. If my friend Brian can say, "Oh my God, you're doing this on social media. Why don't you make this little change here? This is great. I learned this a couple of years ago." And I'm like, okay, why wouldn't he want to help me? Of course he would. I'm not asking him for any kind of favors or money things or anything like that or investors. It's just that. It's just advice. And I think if people were more balanced and they literally broke up the people they interacted with into those three categories, you have the people that will teach you. You have the people in the trenches that relate to you and understand what you go through. But then you have the people that you teach as well on the 33 below. And you're that person for them who gives them wisdom. And there's something to be said that when you teach other people, you teach yourself. Just by regurgitating those things, you think about them. So it's very healthy sometimes to be helping people on the lower rungs because it's making you more wise on your rung, if that makes sense. And
Yeah.
so I've always thought about that rule of 33, and I don't know why people really struggle sometimes to have those friends that are above them. I don't know if it's insecurity, but it's so important sometimes to have those people that you aspire to be like.
Well, it's kind of like going to the gym. I mean, you're not going to be the biggest, the fittest, the whatever. And if you're okay with that, if you realize, but I'm here to get better,
Correct.
then you're okay with it. But if you go in, I got to be the buffest, the strongest, the fittest, then you're never going to want to go.
You know,
Right.
yeah, go ahead,
I
Al.
was
I'm
just going to
sorry.
say to his point, it's like it's admiration versus jealousy. When you see other people succeed in your life that you like, don't be jealous or envious of them. Be happy for their success. Root for them. It's a good way to live your life.
Well, I think humility is the word. Can you be humble? Can you ask for the help you need? Or do you got
Right.
to
And
do it your way?
But
that's the hardest part
but it's
is getting humble and saying, please help me.
but it's skin in the game. And I think sometimes like when you put money into something, it makes people perform differently. Setting it up, with an accountant, it's getting the website domain. There's a lot of steps to starting a project. And it's not fun and there's money involved, but it does help people be motivated. It's a lot more motivating than talk.
Well, I think this is also the time of year. I think we're all listening to this and we're getting hype. I'm feeling hype from this conversation with the two of you, but
Mhm.
how do you continue that?
Well, you have to do what we're saying, don't you think? You actually have to start telling people what you're going to do. You have to have them asking you how you're doing on that thing. You have to surround yourself with successful people that you aspire to be like so that you can hold yourself accountable so you don't feel inferior because you know you're capable, just like those people, of doing those things. It's up to you. But if you're lazy about it, it's all talk and what you're saying and you're just posting about it on social media and that's not going to do anything for you. That's just you feeling good in that
I
moment.
don't think, yeah, but I don't think that it's not that we're not into it. I think we get so in our heads and we get so hype and we really want to do it. But then when one little thing just sort of fizzles out and you just get back into that old rut, we got to keep people out of the rut.
Well, do you think it's laziness?
No, I don't think it's laziness. I think people want to, but I think it's just hard and it's hard to overcome
But that's what we're
sometimes
saying is that
obstacles.
is that the hard parts of anything. And so nothing is easy. And if people quit when it's hard, then those are probably the people you would want to have in the lower part of your 33, not as your main sounding boards. You need the people who are going to be not, I don't want to say lazy because it just sounds offensive, but it kind of is laziness, is it not? Like, it's not fun for me to contact different organizations for funding or for, documentation for taxes. That sucks. But if I didn't do it, then my business wouldn't work.
Well, I think that's why when you get that mindset that you need to make the framework so that when you're not motivated, you still know the thing you got to do.
Correct.
So
Right.
you're not,
That's
I think it's not just, I need to lose weight. It's I need to throw away the snacks that are in my house that are unhealthy. I need to make a shopping list of healthier foods. I need to, whatever those things are.
Right.
So when you're
Tuesdays.
not feeling it, you're looking at the list saying, this is what I need to do because this is on the list, the nice list, if you will.
Mhm. If
I
you have a
think
day
that
plan, yeah, I was just going to say, if you have a day planner and you're actually putting things in that you don't want to do and you do them, you'll find that eventually you will get to the things you do want to do. But the beginning part is always, if you think about anything you want to, that you're trying to accomplish in life, it's always hard to do the beginning things. So I agree, you've got to schedule them and just do them. And that's real. That's anybody who just talks about something, I kind of just smile and nod my head because it's not that I'm rooting against them, but I understand that it's just a dream. It's an impulse. It's a fantasy. And that's okay for us as human beings to have those fantasies if that's all they're going to be. But if you want them to be something, you got to do the hard work. And a lot of it's just the details. It's the laying of the bricks of the foundation of a house, and it sucks.
now for somebody who's new at doing this with using framework, to position themselves for 2026, because not everybody is like you, Alan, and makes the lists. I think that if people get overzealous and they come up with these crazy long lists, they'll never achieve them. What would be a good number to start with daily?
I would say anywhere from 15 to 20 things. And most of them will take less than a minute. So let's just be honest, making a phone call, researching something on Yelp or whatever. Like these are not hard things if you really think about some of the things that we're talking about, sending an email out. So I would say maybe 15 things would be fine. But there was something that I learned from a gamer a lot of years ago. And this kind of plays into social media. Like when you post something on, not Scotty and I don't do this, but let's say Hudson, if you post something on social media and you get a comment or a heart, you get happy, probably. I'm not saying you specifically. I'm saying anyone listening to this. If they're posting something on social media that's important to them, or it is them, and it's validated by other people with a ding, that prompt of validation that says you did something good, I hearted it, makes you feel better.
True.
And in work on my lists, it's not, I don't just make lists. My lists are pretty long and extensive, but as Hudson will tell you, I put a thumbs up next to everything I do. So if I had a list, let's say there was 15 or 20 things on it, on the daily one, as I do each thing, I put a little thumbs up next to it once it's done. Contacted school, done, check. And there's a part of me that feels better. And when I keep opening up that list every couple hours and I see all those thumbs ups, it gives me the strength to finish it because I know that it's not just a bunch of things I'm going to do later and they're all still there. A lot of them aren't anymore.
What you know what I like about that list is those aren't unreasonable expectations. I think when someone puts on their list something so massive and
Mhm.
difficult,
Yeah.
lose weight is not a list.
Correct.
You need to say, I'm going to stand up and take a walk, or little things that you can do. Well, I'm going to walk down the block to the stop
Right.
sign and walk back. Things like that where you can check and win.
Right. And then do that little thumbs up and then go back and look at the list that you did that day. And you don't even have to do it in a day timer. You can do it on your phone. If you got an iPhone, you do it in your notes and
Correct.
you just keep building it. And if you for some reason can't get all of it done because you were overwhelmed that day, you got to do it tomorrow.
But look, I think if we use the working out as a metaphor to help people listening to this to make it a little bit more simple, let's say my goal is by June, I want to be ripped. Well, what are the ways that I'm going to get ripped? I'm not ripped right now. And what are the ways that that could happen? Well, I could get a personal trainer if I could afford it, maybe. I could go to a gym. I could start to research. My first step of losing weight and getting ripped by June isn't like talking about it. It's about thinking about what in my life requires exercise that I can increase. Maybe I take my dog for a 20-minute walk. I could do a 40-minute. Maybe I start looking at gym prices and see if it's expensive, or I check out the YMCA and wow, it's cheaper and they have a really nice gym there I can use. So maybe that's affordable. And then I book a membership with the YMCA, another step in the list. And now I find an accountability partner that'll come with me so that I don't have to remember on Tuesdays to go because they're also reminding me it's Tuesday, let's go. And now I have to go because I'm not going to tell them that I'm not going. So when you have things like that, an accountability partner that's going to make you go to the gym, money in a gym or some sort of an exercise equipment. And now you also have set markers for maybe weight loss. And so if you know that you're going to weigh yourself on a certain day, you may think twice about buffet, or maybe I'll go to this restaurant, or maybe I'll just make something healthy at home, because you start to think about it, because you know that scale is coming up and you know how it feels when you fail. And so the more accountability things you can put in where you're not just coasting with like horse blinders on, those things are going to make June happen in a very different way. Does that make sense? Like there's things in your life you're going to have to look at, but there's also calls you're going to have to make, people you're going to have to involve, possibly equipment or institutions that you're going to have to involve. It's not as easy as just, I want to lose the weight, but are you willing to do those things? Make those 4 or 5 calls to price it out, etc.
All right. So Alan ripped by June. Got it.
I'm not
Yeah.
making that. That's not, I already said book,
Oh,
guys. I'm not going to be ripped by June. But I will say that for some people, that is their goal. And I get it.
shoot.
I know Hudson's disappointed in that one.
Alan, let's get into 2026. I want to wrap this up, but if somebody only changes one thing this year, what do you think it should be?
Discipline, global discipline to do the things that are hard, because you know that if you do, you'll be standing on that ledge that you want to be standing on. And so that requires discipline. And that's not always easy. But if I had to pick one thing, just do what you say you're going to do, and you'll get where you want to go.
Some good advice. I
Yeah.
want to wish both of you a very happy holiday, and I'm looking forward to 2026. Make sure you share this with a friend. Somebody listening might need this episode to get not just motivated, because motivation can fizzle out. Get disciplined. Set that framework. We got your back. Share this episode with everybody that you know. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm Hudson Hott, Scotty Blaisdell, my partner, and our resident therapist, Alan Wagner. Thanks for listening. Peace and chicken grease.
See ya.
See you guys.